I'm Rose and welcome back to my channel, the #1 place for financial empowerment, education, and inspiration. Today, I'm going to talk about some places to park your money short term. Maybe you have some savings, but you're not quite ready to invest in the stock market yet, or you're just sitting on some cash in a bank account that's paying 0%. Either way, you deserve to earn a return on your money. That's why in this video, I'm going to show you 5 short-term investment options that pay anywhere from 2% to 18%. I'm of the opinion that you work really hard for your money, so your money should work hard for you too, especially considering that inflation is always working against you. You guys, inflation is a real thing. I remember a time when a latte used to cost like $3. Now it's $5. Not that that stopped me from my occasional daily oat milk latte, but still, prices go up every year. Moral of the story, not enough people consider the effects of inflation, but you should. That's why any extra money that you have sitting around that you don't need for rent and bills in the next month or so, you should try to earn a return on it whenever possible. So that's where these short-term investments come in. So the first one is high interest savings accounts. Now, obviously, this isn't really an investment, it's a bank account, but there are some savings accounts that pay a lot more than the traditional brick and mortar bank. These are called online-only savings accounts. The best thing about them is that they're FDIC insured, which means that if anything happens to the bank, your money's gonna be safe no matter what because it's insured by the federal government, meaning that they'll step in and replace the money if anything happens to the bank that you put your money in. There are some good ones that pay up to actually 3% interest. I made a video about this the other week, so check it out, it's right here. But just to give you a head start, one of them is like the Betterment Everyday Savings Account. There's also the Wealthfront Cash Account. There's the Ally Bank account. So check out this video to learn more about these high interest savings accounts, but this is a great, really secure place to park your money short term. The second short term investment option for you is money market mutual funds. For those of you that don't know, the money market is a place to park short term cash. It is an investment, but it's very secure. Things that qualify as money market investments might be short-term, 1 month, 3 month, 6 month US Treasury bonds. You're pretty much guaranteed the return of your principal plus a little bit of interest because it's such a short duration bond. So what a money market mutual fund is a basket of a bunch of these little money market instruments all in one easy fund. And what's good about that is that you get the diversification, so your credit risk is spread out among many different issuers and bonds. You can often expect around 2% interest. It's very similar to high interest savings accounts in terms of what they pay. But there's one key difference that's actually really big. The after-tax returns could be a lot better than a regular high interest savings account. For example, if you put your money into a money market mutual fund that does municipal bonds, then you avoid all taxes because municipal bonds are exempt from US taxes, state taxes, and local taxes, which means, you know, the after-tax return of a money market municipal bond mutual fund could be a lot better than a savings account. Also, US Treasury money market bond funds also avoid state and city taxes, so you always want to think about what the after-tax return is. To invest in a money market mutual fund, you need a brokerage account. It's the same type of account that you would use to buy stocks and bonds. There's a couple extra steps to invest in money market mutual funds, but especially if taxes are a concern for you, then money market mutual funds are a great short-term investment option. The third short-term investment option for you is peer-to-peer lending on a platform like LendingClub. Peer-to-peer lending is a type of lending that happens outside of banks where individuals like you can also lend money to individuals like you. The most reputable peer-to-peer lending platform that I've heard of is called LendingClub. And this is a platform where you sign up, you create an account, and then you tell them how much money you want to invest, and they'll invest your money in different loans for you. And all the borrowers on LendingClub are people just like you, and they're just looking for short-term personal loans. And all of these loans have $25 denominations. And so if you want to invest, say, $1,000, which is actually their investment minimum, then your money would be spread out across, what is it? I can't do the math. Shit, what's the math? 40. So if you have $1,000 to invest in LendingClub, then you would have 40 different notes of $25 each. And this is great because then you're diversified across 40 different borrowers. At Lending Club, they say that you can earn anywhere from 4 to 7% returns a year, so this is a pretty juicy return. However, I would only consider Lending Club if you have at least $2,500 to invest. Even though their investment minimum is only $1,000, they recommend even $2,500 because with $2,500, you get your investments spread out across 100 different notes of $25 each, and they say that just based on historical data and the rate of default of a typical note, that you get the best probability of actually earning this 4 to 7% return if you diversify across 100 notes. So again, I would only consider a Lending Club if you have at least $2,500 to invest, but it's still a great short-term investment option to consider. And the fourth short-term investment option that I have for you is to invest actually in the stock market, but with a very conservative allocation. And this is really easy to do through robo-advisors like Betterment, where you tell them how much money you want to invest and when you need that money by, and they will invest the money for you in a very conservative portfolio of stocks and bonds, where most of the money will be in stable bonds, but you'll have a small percentage, say 30%-ish, in stocks. So the good thing about this option is that you get some potential upside, as their projections say you can make up to 18% on your money. But of course, this is all dependent on how the stock market plays out. And there is a small chance of you actually ending up with a little less money than you started with if the market timing isn't ideal for you. So it's all about probabilities. Of course, the upside is you'll end up with way more than you would have ended up doing anything else with the money. But you have to be okay with actually taking that small chance of ending up with a little bit less than you started with. However, that's not the end of the world because it's all about timing. So if in 1 or 2 years when you need that money, it's not where you want it to be, you can just keep it in there longer because, as you know, the stock market in the long run always goes up. So it's not a matter of if, but it's a question of when your money will grow. I would only do this if you're flexible on the timing of when you need this short-term money. So if you're okay with, you expected to use it in 2 years, but you're okay with waiting 2.5 years, then this could be an interesting option for you. It's really up to you. Some people prefer the safety and security of knowing that their principal is always going to stay the same and they'll just make a little bit of interest. And other people prefer to take a little bit of risk and put some money in the stock market so that they can end up with more money than they would have ended up with otherwise. So to do this, I recommend using a robo-advisor like Betterment or Ellevest. I actually did a couple of videos on robo-advisors, so you can check those out here. But these robo-advisors, you just tell them what your time horizon is, 1 year, 2 year, it can be really short, and they'll allocate your money into a nice short-term investment portfolio. And the fifth and final short-term investment option for you is certificates of deposits, also known as CDs. CDs have a fixed maturity and they are not as flexible as savings accounts and money market mutual funds and even the Betterment short-term stock portfolio that I talked about, because they have a locked withdrawal period, meaning that if you buy say a 3-month CD, then you cannot withdraw this money until those 3 months are over. And if you do, you would have to pay hefty penalties and fees, so it's just not an option. So it's similar to a savings account, but it has a fixed maturity and no liquidity before that. And CDs, you can buy these either through your bank or at a brokerage. And I have found some CDs that are currently paying up to 2.3%. It's really easy. Just Google best CD rates and you'll find a list of banks that are offering the best ones. So as for my final thoughts, there's 5 short-term investment options that we've talked about. And I think it really depends on what you need that short-term investment money for, and that will help you decide which of these 5 options is the best for you. If your money is for an emergency fund, then you need to know that that money is going to be there and there's no fluctuation in the principal value. And you also need to know that it's liquid, meaning that you can withdraw it at any time whenever you need it. In that sense, for an emergency fund, a CD is not ideal because there is fixed withdrawal times. And I would say the stock market allocation, the conservative stock market allocation option is not ideal because the stock market will do what it does when it does. I would say for an emergency fund, a good short-term investment for that would be either the high interest savings accounts or the money market mutual funds. And then as for anything else, like if you're saving up for a big purchase, but you just want that money to be building up some interest and returns in the meantime, then something like Lending Club or the Betterment conservative stock allocation, those kind of things could be an interesting option to look into, because best case scenario is you'll end up with a lot more money than you could have ever saved up on your own. And the worst case scenario is the timing isn't ideal and you have to wait a little bit longer for the market to recover or for the returns to get you to where you want to be. That's it for my short-term investment options. I hope this has helped. I know that not everyone is ready to always just dive right into stock market investing right away. So short-term investing is a good way to just dip your toes into the financial world. So I hope this video has helped. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please share it with your friends, because we all need to spread some financial literacy around here, and it would really help my channel out. Also, I post new videos like this every Wednesday, so I'll see you next week, same time, same place. Always remember to go after your dreams unapologetically and to live life on your terms. Cheers.